with a speech title Stress and Distress. Let's all welcome Selamat datang to the front. Our guest for today, from all the way from Malaysia, Toastmaster Billy Tan.
Thank you. Good evening, Toastmasters. The speech this evening is stress and distress. What I like to illustrate firstly is the process of stress from a very technical standpoint. How do scientists explain what is stress? But the bonus is, at the end of it, I'm going to show you a couple of very simple techniques that can help you de-stress and help you overcome the harmful effects of stress. What is stress? Until about 150 years ago, many scientists thought that stress is something that only happens in the mind. But about 150 years ago, in the late 1800s, a psychologist by the name of William James, he pointed out, stress begins with physiological changes in the body and affecting the mind, and it is the mind that then goes on to go into a state of confusion or proliferation, and that is called distress. So really, stress is referring to the beginning of a physiological change, and then distress is when the mind begins to get disturbed. And about 80 years ago, another scientist by the name of Hans Selye, he conducted several research, and after extensive research, he documented the process of stress, and he called it general adaptation syndrome. In general adaptation syndrome, he described stress with 3 stages. The first stage is the stage of alarm reaction. The second stage is the stage of resistance. And the third stage is the stage of exhaustion. Now, what is alarm reaction? Alarm reaction is when we see, hear, smell, taste, or touch something that is uncomfortable. It causes the brain to release hormones that disturbs the body. So there is a physiological disturbance. That is the stage of alarm reaction. And then this physiological disturbance begins to disturb the mind. And when the mind begins to be disturbed, the mind begins to want to fight against whatever that is uncomfortable, or to run away from it. And this fighting and running away is called fight or flight reaction. And then when that happens, whoever is unable to overcome it will find himself in a situation where he is losing the battle. And when one loses the battle, then one could go into depression. Going into depression and maybe even becoming suicidal, that would be the stage of exhaustion, or some call it the stage of expiration, where the person just gives up. So that is what stress is technically. Now I'm going to help you understand it physically. I'm going to do something. First, I'm just going to say one word in Tagalog and see whether you feel something. I want you to now pay attention to how your mouth is feeling. So I'm going to say one word and see if you react to it. I'm going to say the word maasim. Do you feel sourness in your mouth?
Yes.
That is a little bit of hormonal reaction. But I'm going to do worse than that.
No.
When we were little kids, we went to school. In elementary school, those days the teachers were using blackboard and chalk. So when the teacher writes on the blackboard with a chalk, it makes this funny little sound. Squeak, 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 squeak. Right? And then when the teacher is finished with using the blackboard, ask the kid, come and erase the board. Some kids, they are so naughty. They have long nails. They will go up to the blackboard and go, now, how many of you are feeling this funny tingling sensation in the body? How many? Yeah. If you don't feel anything at all, you better go for medical checkup. Something is wrong. This has been proven to irritate every person. That irritation is the hormones coming out. Then you have just experienced the stage of alarm reaction. And when that irritation comes out, there's a physiological change in the body. Stress hormones are released, cortisol and adrenaline. They cause various parts of the body to react differently. Heart beating faster, lungs breathing deeper, muscle all tensed up. So this is really the reaction that's going on. And then you begin to hate it or get angry with it. That is the second stage. The stage of resistance. You want to fight against it or you want to run away from it. And you wish, this Billy, why did he do that to me? And I'm getting so angry with him. Now you're entering into the third stage. Because you have lost that battle, because your anger is aroused now. You begin to behave very emotionally. When you begin to behave emotionally, you have lost the battle of a human being as an intelligent, rational being. Because now you begin to hate this experience. And this is the stage of exhaustion. Now, how can we overcome it? How can we overcome these harmful effects? There are so many different methods. Many people have come up with all kinds of techniques, and different people have different ways of doing it. So some people respond well to one kind of technique, some people respond well to another. So we would call that different strokes for different folks. But I'm going to give you two simple methods which will help you. First, when you realize something is happening in your body, whether it is because of what you have seen, heard, smelled, taste or touch, or whether it's because of your memory, imagination, expectation arising, you know that something is changing in your body. Your heart is beating faster, your lungs are breathing deeper, and then your muscles are all tensed up. You know that you are about to enter into a stage of reaction. You're going to resist. Now that is the time when you have to practice what I call the 3-step self-compassion. And that is something that I've been teaching all over the world. What are these 3 steps? Self-compassion. First, pause. Do not react. Do not do anything. Just pause. Second, relax. What do you do to relax? Take a deep breath. Deep breath in and out slowly. Do your breathing slowly. And as you breathe slowly, your body will begin to relax. All the hormones will begin to subside. And your mind will begin to calm down. And then third, then think. That's when you can think of what you can do to overcome the problem that is causing this physiological change in your body. That is one method. So it's called 3-step self-compassion. Pause, relax, and think. The second method is laughter. Laughter yoga. So when something happens to you and you're feeling stressed, laugh it off. Like that. You know, if somebody... And you can use laughter any moment. You don't even need comedy or jokes or humor. You can laugh at anything. So let's say when you yawn, you can laugh it off because laughter triggers the release of very good hormones. So for example, when you yawn, you go, oh. Or when you sneeze, achoo, achoo. That's how you can overcome it. So these are the ways to overcome harmful effects of stress. Thank you very much.